What kind of tile can you put on the wall or shower? Do you have to seal tile? How much extra tile should I buy for my project? What thinset is the best for my tile application? How hard is it to maintain natural stone? You have questions, we have answers. Welcome to the Belk Tile Podcast. How to style the bathroom, the backyard, the kitchen. How to improve your home style with tiles to make your home absolutely beautiful. Welcome to the Belk Tile Podcast. Here's your host, Mike Belk.
So, when you're considering tiles for your shower floor, the most important thing, hands down, is slip resistance. I mean, think about how often that floor gets wet. And, well, that's pretty much every day, right?
Exactly. Nobody wants to turn their shower into a slip and slide.
Right? And that's where texture really comes into play. For example, mosaic tiles. These are fantastic for slip resistance because their smaller size increases the number of grout lines, adding extra traction.
Plus, they look amazing, don't they? I mean, mosaics can bring so much character to a shower, and bonus, they can fit those tricky slopes perfectly.
Absolutely. And if you want something beyond mosaics, textured porcelain and ceramic tiles also get the job done while being more durable and, frankly, easier to maintain in the long run. But, safety's the key driver here. Let me share a quick story.
Oh, here we go, a Mike classic.
Haha. But no, seriously, a few years back, I had this family come to the showroom and their kids kept slipping in their shower because they'd chosen these polished stone tiles. Beautiful, but way too slick when wet. So we swapped them out for mosaics with a matte finish, and after that, they told me it was a total game changer. No accidents since. That's the kind of thing you want to think about.
And that's such a great example of why it's not just about looks, it's about finding that balance between style and practicality. What about materials, though? I feel like people often get stuck choosing between porcelain, ceramic, or natural stone.
You're right. Porcelain is a top pick. It's super durable, water-resistant, and comes in endless designs. Ceramic is similar, just a bit softer and usually more budget-friendly. Natural stone, on the other hand, gives you that luxurious, high-end vibe. But, and this is a big but, you have to stay on top of sealing and maintenance. Otherwise, it can absorb water over time.
Let's not forget ceramic, though. It's affordable, waterproof, and pretty easy to install, but not as upscale looking. And glass tiles, they're gorgeous, but I wouldn't recommend them for a shower floor unless textured because they can get slippery fast.
Exactly. That's why it's all about asking the right questions, like who's using the shower, families with kids, elderly parents. These factors really dictate what's practical and safe.
Totally. And honestly, sometimes safer tiles like mosaics or textured options end up being the more stylish choice anyway. Win-win.
Couldn't agree more. Safety and design working together.
Building on that balance of safety and design, you know what I really love? It's how modern shower trends are pushing creativity with colors and shapes. Showers aren't just functional anymore. They're becoming these amazing design statements.
Oh, definitely. And one trend that really stands out is the return of bold geometric patterns. Hexagons, for instance, are everywhere right now.
Hexagons are having a moment, aren't they? I recently worked with a client who wanted their bathroom to feel fun but still sophisticated. We ended up using these hexagon mosaic tiles in this deep, almost electric blue. And wow, the result was stunning. It completely transformed the space.
That sounds incredible. And I'm guessing the grout lines in the mosaic added that perfect touch of texture for safety?
Exactly. It wasn't just about the look. The grout added so much traction, which was a big win since they had kids using the shower too.
See, that's the beauty of mosaics. They blend form and function so well, and with colors like electric blue.
It's a showstopper.
Right, and I think people are starting to embrace the idea of color more in general, stepping away from neutral tones and experimenting with bold choices that really personalize their space.
Totally. And not just color, texture is getting a lot more attention too. Matte finishes, for instance, are super popular right now. They look sleek, but are also practical in terms of water resistance and safety.
Absolutely. And then there's the luxury angle, like marble mosaics. They bring that timeless elegance, but you've got to be realistic about maintenance. Sealing is non-negotiable if you want them lasting beautifully.
So true. But when done right, marble really raises the bar. I had another client who combined classic white marble with gold accents. It was one of those bathrooms where you just stop and stare for a minute.
That's the kind of design that leaves a lasting impression. And speaking of combining elements, I always recommend people play with different shapes and patterns for a custom look. It's amazing how a small twist, like mixing hexagons with chevrons, can elevate the entire space.
Yes, custom designs are where the magic happens. It's all about taking those personal touches and running with them. Whether it's bold patterns or mixing tile materials, you can create something that's truly one of a kind.
And when it's done right, it not only looks great, but also stands the test of time, functionally and stylistically. We've touched on how great design stands the test of time when style meets function, but let's dive into the next step, installation and maintenance, because even the most stunning tiles can lose their charm if they're not installed properly or cared for over time.
Yeah, no one wants tiles popping up or grout cracking after all that effort. So, where should someone start with installation?
The foundation's absolutely key. You need to make sure your shower floor is clean, level, and dry before you even think of placing tiles. Any unevenness can cause real headaches down the line.
And don't forget the right adhesive, right? Like, you got to use something that's meant for wet areas like showers.
Exactly. A waterproof adhesive is non-negotiable, and grout lines, oh man, this is where so many people mess up. You not only want them evenly spaced with spacers, but also properly sealed afterward to avoid moisture issues.
Sealing is huge. It's one of those steps that doesn't sound glamorous at all, but it saves so much trouble later on. No one wants moldy grout.
It's a lifesaver. And speaking of longevity, maintenance really isn't a one-and-done thing. You've got to clean regularly. A soft brush and gentle cleaner do wonders, especially for keeping grout fresh and clean. Plus, drying your shower floor after use, that's just smart practice.
Totally. I always tell my clients maintenance isn't optional if you want to keep your tiles looking like new. But let's talk costs real quick. People aren't just thinking tiles, they're thinking budgets.
Oh, absolutely. And costs can vary so much depending on the material. For example, porcelain tiles, you're looking at $3 to $20 per square foot. Ceramic, a little cheaper, $1 to $12 per square foot. Natural stone, that can go anywhere from $5 up to $45.
And then there are installation costs, right? If you're hiring a pro, that can add up pretty quickly.
Right, but you also have to balance that with the long-term value. A well-installed floor with durable tiles can save you replacement costs down the road. Plus, low-maintenance tiles like porcelain can stretch your dollar.
It's all about mixing practicality with what fits your budget. And honestly, there are great options at every price point if you plan carefully.
Couldn't have said it better. So, bottom line, put in the effort up front and it'll pay off. Whether it's picking the right tile, installing it properly, or keeping it clean, it all adds up to a shower floor that'll last and look great for years.
And on that note, I think we've covered just about everything people need to know to get their shower floors exactly right.
We have. And that's all for today, folks. Great talking, Abby.
You too, Mike. Till next time.
You've been listening to the Belk Tile Podcast. When it comes to creating a beautiful home using tile, this is the podcast for products, design ideas, and tips. We hope you got some useful, practical information from this show, and we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, reach out. The website is www.belktile.com. Our store phone number is 614-543-8334. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Belk Tile and on Instagram at Belk Tiles. Make sure to leave a rating and review. And if you have questions or comments, reach out. And we'll talk about it on the next show. Till next time.